All right, we're back.
Okay.
We're talking
Welcome
about
back.
whether or not Ernest slept the night before.
So, yeah, the reason that Ernest has not been sleeping well and why my new instinct is never get enough sleep is because he has been having strange dreams that wake him up in the night. I think that with the war going on and the fighting, he has been too exhausted to even remember or have dreams very often. So as of late, he has been sleeping fairly well. However, I think that with the last couple weeks of the siege, without any fighting, the dreams have returned. And I would like to make another fort save to see if he is at this time.
Shit. All right.
I hope you
indisposed.
don't decide to activate a trait and fail the sports save.
I don't think I will.
Is that worth a fate point at the end? Is a sword up your
No.
ass worth a fate point?
No, it is not. I would like to automatically fail my duel for that fate. No, I will not.
Great, you're dead, but you're loaded with fate.
Well,
Congratulations.
you spent a persona point to get a fate point, so it makes
Exactly.
sense.
It's the perfect exchange rate. So, what is the ob for a
What was it? Staying
little
up all
sleep?
night?
Staying up all night.
Have we been doing like Ob 3, I think? That's
Was
what
it
we
Ob 3?
decided. Pretty
I don't
sure.
know.
I don't know. Go back up to the last
Last fort
session.
save, I think. No, someone else made a fort save, I think. But it was totally last session.
I did, but
Yeah, you made one.
it was
So before
Ops 3, I think.
Fort. I made a fort save. It was Ob 5. That doesn't make sense.
It depends how long you've been awake, too, because, like, you say you don't sleep.
Yeah.
Like, if
I
you
think the
literally
op
haven't
was-
slept for a month, you're probably
No,
dead.
I had that would kill me. I did sleep for most of the time in the last 6 months, but it's just over the last like couple weeks I've been getting. I never stay up all night. I think he gets like between probably 3 and 6 hours of sleep a night.
I think
Enough
that would be
that
pretty easy.
when it
for
happens
us.
one night, it's not a huge deal. But when it happens for a week or a few weeks, it can catch up to you. So
Because remember, you also haven't
match
been.
would be.
You had the Ops 5 because you tried to stay awake after a battle.
It was after a battle. That's why I think the ops was higher than before.
This
So I
isn't
think let's
after
just
a
look at the
battle.
book and
This
see what it
is
says.
after a siege.
Yeah. Let's not use the old op. Let's
And
see what the
Edwin
book
is
says.
probably going to make you try and sleep. Like, you'd better
Yeah.
sleep.
You're like prepping me and stuff like that.
Like, I get the minstrels to like play soothing music, so you can't hear the people crying in pain.
Okay.
Like,
Well, I don't. I've not. I
I
haven't
let
told
you sleep in
anyone
my bed instead of
about-
on the ground.
Why? Oh.
Yeah, it's Ob 3.
that's-
It's difficult and requires concentration.
Okay. My
Can I help?
exponent is 5. How are you helping me? How are you helping me stay awake the next day? This is what this is. I didn't sleep enough.
Oh, I can't help you
Maybe-
get sleep?
Well, the test isn't to get sleep. The test is I didn't get sleep. How am I the next morning?
How can I help you stay awake?
Does anyone have coffee? Is coffee a thing?
It is, but probably not on this island due to the climate.
Yeah. Actually, it might be. Is it jungles or what climate is it farmed in?
What kind of environment is this right here?
Let me Google coffee.
It's jungle. That's where coffee beans are.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't have like any actual
Is there,
skills to help Ernest stay awake.
Subtropical Africa. And
Is there
in Asia?
like local plants or anything that I might be aware of for stuff?
Like
It's another
like
skill to
coca
be
leaves.
No, more like
I'd like to take some heroin to just get my energy back.
I think more like small vermin or like prickly plants or something like that.
I mean, they're odds are yes, there are medicinal herbs of that type in most
Yeah.
environments.
Well,
Coffee
not-
beans are farmed in
not
places like
medicinal.
Brazil.
I'm not looking for anything medicinal. I'm looking for something that would annoy the crap out of Ernest, and I stick it in a shoe.
When
Oh,
angry, use
okay.
force. That could work.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So I just make him so angry.
That I just
But
get
then I say, hey,
adrenaline
look,
going.
go that way.
Yeah.
Redirect it.
They're slapping him in the face. Like,
More buckets of water. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
is there something equivalent to icy hot you can put in his codpiece?
well, the thing is, I'm just rolling a stat, which means you can help me with either a skill or just a stat.
Yeah.
If you have a particular stat you want to help with.
Yeah, so you could like will to like psych
Will
him
is
up.
including talking, so yeah.
Yeah,
you
can
could
I
just
like
totally-
roll to like? I mean, just give him a helping dice just for like yelling him like a drill sergeant would. Like, you told me
Yeah, you-
about
you
your
can-
drill sergeant and how angry he made you. Now I'm going to play that role, Ernest. You must give in to that anger and use that
That's
anger to stay
appropriate.
awake and defeat this foe. Visualize that man as your most hated enemy, and then do to him what you want.
Probably
to
not
do.
that hard, judging by the last name of your enemy. But you
Not
don't
that I know it yet.
Oh,
Yes.
really? Is he actually that guy? I didn't.
He's not that guy. He just has the same last name as that guy, and I'm very interested in that. So I want to have a pre-game talk with him.
All right. Well, that's how Edwin would help.
Okay. So let's roll for it. And how is Matron helping?
By fucking with you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Basically. So Matron with Will. And is it with Will?
Yeah, I'm not sure how what kind of stat that would be.
I mean, it
Fucking
could be perception, just to be like on the lookout for things that piss him off. Like.
Yeah.
On my
Oh,
when I'm-
speaking of perception, a point I wanted to bring up.
Oh, okay.
It kind of irked me that like perception is only ever marked when you pass the test. That has to mean something, and I think it means that it should be rolled a hell of a lot more than we're rolling it now.
That makes sense.
Yep. You use it whenever you want to notice something that isn't hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because
just keep that in mind
observation
going
isn't
forward.
yeah.
Keep in
Okay.
mind going forward that when you want to, observe your surroundings, perception is the go-to. I think.
Makes sense. Okay. Rolling modifiers 2. Do I want to spend any Artha? The Ob is 3 and I have 7 dice. I'm not going to spend Artha, but I will spend Fates post mortem.
Still like 50 fate, right?
I have 11 Fate. I already spent one this session. Yes!
You
Oh,
did
there
it.
you go. You got a 6.
For me, that was a routine fort test.
So that was
doesn't do
Ob's
anything.
4?
Doesn't do anything. Oh no, I was Ob 3. I just didn't remove the wound from previously, so let me remove that now. I'm unwounded.
All right.
So it was actually
gives
Ob.
me
It
my
was,
difficult test. My oratory
it
is
was
now
Ob
4.
3. Yes. Cool.
Oratory.
That's what I was hoping.
Yeah,
for.
that's not
Oh, What do
oratory.
you think it is then?
Or persuasion, I think. Maybe.
You don't think yelling at them and
Yeah.
doing that kind
Well,
of thing is
oratory is
okay?
specifically for groups, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Persuade them?
Yeah, oratories for groups of people. Yeah, probably persuade or ugly truth, maybe, depending on your.
I could have
Depending
helped
on
with
how blunt you want to be.
skill.
Yeah, you could
Yeah,
help.
you can help a stat with a skill.
So
Oh.
what skill
You
is?
can't help a skill with a stat.
Do you have prank wise, or at this point screwing with earnest wise?
That should totally be a wise.
Now,
Screw
here's
with
the
people
thing.
wise.
I mean,
We-
over the past 6 months, I'd
It's
say
a
you've
cliffhanger,
opened
isn't
that wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now here's the thing: we still need to do 6 months of practice, and we don't have time to do the fight this session, which sucks. It's such a cliffhanger. And we still need to do the end of session, and we need to do 6 months of practice.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
This makes sense to me, but I didn't say it explicitly. But like with my traits for affinity for rope and everything, I was probably gonna help you with knots, like just tying all your crap together and just.
Nice.
You are
That's how I
tying my
was
shoes
messing with
together.
you?
That's what you're doing. You're tying my shoes together when I'm not looking and when I'm asleep.
Yeah.
Great.
Is that
So-
okay?
So I wake up super tired. I put on my shoes. I take one step and I fall down and hit my head and suddenly I'm awake. Okay.
Oh boy.
That was basic.
So op 3, not 4. Is what you get the test as.
Sweet.
Okay. So
What
I
do you guys want
think
me to mark? I guess Will
Mark-
or Falsehood.
if you will works fine. It's op 3. Your will is
Oh, I don't need a
3.
will test.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
What is your will? I thought it was 3.
It's 3, but I already have a challenging marked.
Oh, okay.
Wait, is challenging when it's more or equal to?
Challenging is when it is.
Challenging is usually when it's more.
For 3,
For 3, it might be different.
equal is
Challenging is
difficult.
always when it's
a
more.
difficult test.
Oh, okay, I get difficult. Yeah, I'll take it on a will then.
Yeah,
One
cool.
more will test at difficult, and it goes up.
So it is half an hour until we normally end the session.
Yep.
Do you think we have time to calculate out our 6 months of practice?
I'd say we do that in downtime if you want to have your conversation with the man.
Okay. Yeah, and
then
then we
go
just
into the
draw our
fight.
weapons and then cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Could we set up fight for next session?
Yeah.
that's
can
true.
probably
We
do
could
that.
learn fight. That's important.
All right, let's try and learn fight.
Yep. So is this the last rule of Burning Wheel that we haven't engaged yet?
No.
There's
No.
range and cover as well.
Range and cover, which we're not going to do until we see your character again, Zen. Likely.
And we
Actually,
might not
might
even it.
do range and cover, but it's very vague.
Yeah.
Okay.
See,
Um,
range and cover, like we would have used range and cover had this siege thing been something we played out, because
Yeah.
you would have had to get your army into position without them slaughtering you with arrows.
Aren't we staying out of range of their arrows right now? Oh, you mean if we did just attack?
Yeah.
If we just like went.
Yeah,
all
it's
in.
sort of a positioning thing.
Okay.
Wow. That's
Um,
pretty weird. I can have the cards ready for next time.
Yeah, we'll call this a fight, a real fight, with,
Yeah.
with an
Fight,
exclamation
fight, and fight.
point.
So I think Ernest, in traditional fashion, is I assume Edwin, you've dressed him up in a way. He's wearing his armor as usual. It's polished, but he probably was given some like extra special polish. That is,
Yeah,
now
it's probably
gleams
like
in
got
the
some
summer sun.
banners or something like. something
Yeah, I have like a
similar, but-
cloak that is the flag of the Pathasquad, like
Yeah.
wrapped around me as a cape, and I take it off as I walk closer to like the edge of what we have established to be the battlefield.
Is your sister here?
I don't know. It's probably very short notice this is going on, so probably not, honestly.
Okay.
I've probably had someone write a letter to her just in case, but only send the letter if I die, of course.
Of course.
And that's it, I think.
Does Ernest carries a shield, right?
Ernest does carry a shield.
Does it have anything on the front of it? Like, is
It
there
was
anything
plain, I
emblazoned?
think.
All right,
But
when you get up the next morning and go for your shield, you find that still drying on the front of it is the emblem of the Swords of the Phoenix.
okay, interesting.
Nice.
The bit of good marketing there for the mercs.
Yeah, and I think like the night before or something, pained though he would be, Matrim assures you that if anything happens, he would be more than happy to console your sister.
I think at this point, yeah, Ernest does laugh.
Wow. There is a scene I want to do with Ernest and Path Askew once Edwin first got on the island.
Okay, yeah, we'll do
Okay.
flashbacks at the beginning of next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
so
and
let's keep that in mind.
Okay.
Actually, put it in chat so that when looking back, we'll remember it.
I will remember this because it's super important. But, yeah.
And then the only other thing I think that Ernest does is he sort of like looks Matrim in the eye and just says, "Lord Edwin has enough stuff right now." You're always clamoring for money. Guess you can have my stuff if I die. He says that to Matron.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
did you hear what I said?
I only caught the end of it.
Okay.
Hangouts.
Lord Edwin's got enough money as it is. You're always looking for more. I suppose you can have my stuff when I die.
Metrum kind of looks over and he's like, I guess someone will buy that. Thank you.
You like people once over for my armor. Like, yeah, okay.
Wow.
Don't get too much blood on it.
Speaking of armor, how difficult is it to get a better set of armor and weapons? Because I have regular quality, but there is superior quality or something like that.
Oh, superior quality stuff is
It's pretty expensive. Yeah.
Okay.
You're looking at like a 4 or 5.
Another
I think
option,
it's actually like a 6 or a 7.
Okay. And then another option is just regular quality, but of just better armor, like higher covering armor. Because I think I don't have like the most expensive regular armor. Let me go to look. Character burner, inventory. I have plated mail armor that is run-of-the-mill quality. Costs 20.
Yeah, that's an up 5.
What I have is an op 5?
Yeah. The next one would be up 6.
So it's pretty unlikely that we can get
quality
it.
arms is up 5.
Superior quality arms is up 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's
So-
arms.
Yeah, arms, and the armor that I already have is op 5 as well. So it's not something we can get at this time. Unless we get lots of cash, which we are about to get if we sack the place. But it doesn't look like we're going to sack the place.
You don't know. You don't know what we're going to do.
True. Okay. So I can't upgrade my gear because I already have good gear. Does anything else happen? Or I think we might just want to do the end of session stuff, possibly. Actually, Ernest has personal effects on him. I think I will leave that ambiguous for now. I don't think he's going to show that or give that to anyone. You'll find it on his corpse.
Superior quality armor 4 times the cost of a full suit. Yeah.
Wow.
There are some options in the Manish resources thing for character burning to do half superior, half run of the mill. But I don't remember the exact arbitration of that, and especially when it's outside of character burning.
Considering that that it's been like 2 days, I probably wouldn't have had time to get this together anyways.
So that is heavy mail, correct? What you're wearing?
I'm wearing plated mail.
Plated mail. Okay. So the next thing up is full plated mail. And that's the highest armor type you can go to. Then you have run of the mill and superior.
Okay.
Whatever.
So I'm already doing more. I thought I was like at the 5th best or something like that. So I'm actually not doing too badly in terms of what my armor is.
No.
All right.
You're in scale types, you're 1 down from the top, and you're at run of the mill, and you could go to superior, but I think superior quality armor is something that you're gifted or find.
It seems like it's a little more expensive than you can get.
Yeah, and I think at this stage in the game, like as a GM, I think that's the equivalent of the +3, and I don't think we're quite there yet.
No.
Maybe
we find it in like the Royal Bryansk Treasury.
We're at maybe the +1 territory right now.
Like maybe you pick it off this guy's body.
I hope not, because that means he's wearing it against me. It's not quite like D&D where it doesn't matter, or where they don't use the magical weapons.
It's like Borderlands,
It
just like kind of drops out of his chest.
Why didn't you use this gun on me if you had it?
Because I bite people, man.
Anyways, I think let's do the end of session. We might end slightly early, but
right.
no, I forgot. Conversation. We were gonna
Okay,
have that.
you want to do that?
Yeah. So I think that Ernest, there's like a tumbleweed that's rolling across between them as they both walk forward.
Tumbleweed in the middle of a jungle.
Exactly. Yep.
It's
Tumbleweeds
actually just a
are
dried up bunch of
animals.
bananas.
Yeah. We see like a soldier who rolls it like a bowling ball across from the sidelines.
Two guys on either side just throwing it back.
Anyways,
What you doing? It's for ambience.
it's tradition. So I think that Ernest recognizes the name, and so when he walks forward, what was the first name?
Jefferson.
Jefferson. Marwick, eh?
That's my name.
I served under Marwick in the continent. It's been a long time. You familiar with the Hugo?
One question was Hugo a Southern Continental like yourself? Would he have the drawl?
I think yeah, we fought like in this from the same country before the continent was united.
Okay.
So yeah.
So yeah, this guy will have the drawl as well.
All right.
He's like, well, yes, that'd be my brother.
Interesting.
I got one brother Hugo, another brother Davis.
Well, I'll say hi to him for you after this. I'm planning to go visit him. We're having like this is turning out very differently from what I expected. It's not nearly as tense as I thought it would be. So he says, well, I'll say hi to him for you when I plan to visit him after this.
You ain't gonna be walking away. This here sword's gonna be sticking out of your hide by the time I'm done.
Now, did Hugo ever tell you about a man? He sent a squad a while back. Higher ups proved it. It was during the War of Unification. You say he sent a squad on a very important mission, and only one survivor returned. He ever tell you that story?
Shit, yeah. He tells me all kinds of stories, but we don't always believe old Hugo. Got hit in the head when he was younger.
Is he still on about that?
Ain't a Christmas go by he doesn't talk about that dang mule.
Oh, shucks. Anyways, I'm that survivor. And at least that story was real. After I kill you, planning to go kill him for sending us on that mission way back when.
Oh, shit, boy, you got some mighty big stones on you, thinking you gonna be walking away.
Let's get this over with. It's been a while since I've heard another continental talk. I have to say, the accent's mighty grating.
It's gonna be the last thing you ever hear, boy. And he pulls his sword.
Yeah,
and we freeze frame as you're like,
charging at each other or something. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
That was very different from how I thought it would go.
It's that Southern hospitality, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, oh, how you been? Oh, how you been?
Gonna kill you now, son.
Yeah. Okay.
Best get that dog off my land.
Get off my lawn. That's basically what he is saying. Get off my city's lawn. Okay. I think let's do end of session.
Okay. So, who got Arthur from that mess?
I think a few of us got some Artha.
Well, shit, lay it on the table, boy. What you got?
You can go first, Matron.
I think my holdover belief got complete. Pathaskew could have helped us take back the city, but they didn't. the spoils of war are now due to me and mine, and we will take it.
Yep, you took it right out of Edwin's
Ernest,
townhouse.
yeah. Ernest Towns and Edwin's house.
I was thinking I pursued my belief with Ernest. The world isn't black and white as Ernest perceives it. Chaos and order exist together. I will find the chaos in Ernest and show it to him.
I almost think you accomplished that in a way.
Yeah, you definitely showed Ernest that there are many shades of gray.
Yeah. Not to mention, really, I heard that.
Yeah. 48 left.
Yes. Progress 2 out of 50.
Nice.
So yeah, I think that
Achievement.
you
That
That
accomplished that
achievement
completely.
gets on. Yeah, you get that achievement and you get hit with some leather. That's
Yeah, exactly. But the reason I think you got it is because the whole conflict that Ernest had within himself was the fact that he had two or technically three different beliefs that were all in conflict with each other because of what you were saying. So, yeah, I think the whole Shades of Grey thing is now something that he accepts as reality.
Okay. So that's a persona?
I think so.
Are you
yeah,
done?
that would be up to Ernest because you're trying to change his perception.
Right.
I think so.
If he says that Ernest has been changed by this action, and the onus is on Ernest now to take that into account
Yes, that
as well.
he is
Yeah.
less lawful and more chaotic than before. More gray shaded. He's more neutral than lawful now.
Does nature want him to be even more gray shaded though?
Well, you said I don't know. You did
Right.
change him.
Well, I was saying like chaos and order exist together, because like
Yeah,
when we
exactly.
first started, Ernest was like all order, and I was like all chaos, and I was trying to
Meet
get
in
it
the
to
middle.
come together. Yeah.
Okay,
Now we're
yeah.
kind of weird, antagonistic bros.
I would say that's
Yeah.
personable.
Okay. Cool.
I am the order. He is the chaos, and we exist together.
Yeah. I don't think my other belief came into play, but it's pretty vague. The winds and currents of life have brought me many opportunities. Limiting the natural flow of either is a detriment to me and mine. I will remove these limits where I find them.
See, this is where like the same situation could possibly get you points for both beliefs
Right.
because
Well, like that's
Ernest
definitely
went-
not persona to me.
it's fate, but Ernest was a limit
Yeah.
that you removed.
Okay.
So I think you fated that. If we're cool with saying that one situation can bang on two beliefs and get you Arthur from it.
I think so.
I think so.
Okay.
The thing that you have to get persona is you have to flood the island so it's a sea. And that removes the limit of the
Yeah.
shore.
There's
So that's what you have to do to get
it's
persona.
Team
for that
Aqua. Just make the entire world ocean.
I will flood the world.
Everyone will be happy.
There you go. There'll be boats everywhere. You will never be landlocked again.
Best
And
will-
but then we have Kevin Costner with webbed feet, and we're all screwed. Like,
I don't understand. that
gills.
reference.
Here,
Waterworld?
Gills.
You never saw Waterworld?
I mean, I like it.
Don't bother seeing it.
Come on. Like, how often do you guys see jet skis fighting? Jet skis fighting. Mad Max style jet skis. You don't see that anywhere but Waterworld.
No, what ruined it was Kevin Costner taking a leak into a pot and then filtering
Okay,
it.
so like skip the first
that
hour.
ruined the whole fucking movie.
Skip the first hour. Just fast forward till you see the jet skis.
Yeah, I will say that. Oh Christ, what is his name? The bad guy, Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper is pretty good in that movie.
Okay.
I think it's better than what people give it for, but not that much better.
No, not that much better.
5 out of 10 rather than 4.
I'll get
All right,
six.
so-
We'll put it more like around 2. but I would put it around 5. But yeah, I don't think my instincts or traits changed anything for me. So.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, on to Ernest. I haven't yet gotten a chance to find out what Matron is hiding, and as a player, the only thing that I, as a player, know that I think is something that Matron will be hiding that Ernest doesn't know is that Matron is very interested in basically finding the organization's treasury like holdings and stealing from them. But there might be other things that we don't know about him at all as players. So that didn't come up. The second belief, however, I want to leave my past behind on the continent to that I need to feel welcomed for who I am by the people of the Path Askew rather than being Lord Edwin's representative. I definitely pursued that, but we never saw the conclusion of that in regards to dividing up the loot.
Yeah, I'd say that's fate for now. I'd like you to keep that belief,
Okay.
if you can.
Okay. The next one is, I am still a good person. Being responsible for the Duchess's death would be a line that I cannot cross, and I will ensure that she survives. I think that is also fate due to the whole dueling thing. That will...
Yeah, that's fate for now. We'll see how it plays out, but yeah.
Yep. I am a weapon to be used. When following orders, my actions are not my own, but rather of my master Lord Edwin. Therefore, I will keep his cousin safe despite my distaste for his actions. How did that go?
Far as I know, Valerie's still alive.
Yeah. I assume, Edwin, that I'm no longer in charge of his safety, and so is that persona? Unless I still have him with me somehow in prisoner. Golden?
You did
Did we
what?
lose him?
Well, I put Valerie under house arrest,
Right.
and my goal was to keep him safe, basically until you said otherwise.
I mean, I guess. I also feel like that putting him under house arrest in the first place was contrary to Edwin's orders.
What were your orders? I thought it was just to keep him safe.
It was to keep him out of jail. To keep him out of prison.
House arrest. Exactly.
It's
House
just
arrest.
another jail, man. Just another jail.
Not if it's your own house.
We'll play it out.
We'll play it out.
But like you did keep him safe. So if that's your goal, then yes, you achieved it.
Yeah, I mean, the actionable statement is, therefore, I will keep his cousin safe despite my distaste for his actions.
What's interesting is that I basically did a very similar thing myself after that. But
if he's still alive, and if when Edwin got there, he wasn't starving to death, then yes.
Yeah, I'd make sure he's fine and all that. Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't like he's guilty. It was, we're going to do an investigation and see if he's guilty. So he's just sort of quarantined for now.
Okay.
It was the reason I didn't put him in real jail, because I, as a player, forgot that you said don't put him in jail. So I was actually planning to put him in real jail. The reason I specifically didn't do that was because I thought someone might try to kill him.
Okay.
So, is that persona?
Sure.
Okay. So I'll delete the second half, keep the first half, because that's the philosophy of the belief. My instincts, when angered, use force. That never came up. It came close, but never came up. Always maintain my arms and armor is a good thing. And never get enough sleep. It did come up twice.
Yeah, you definitely get some for that.
And it screwed you on that
speech.
Speech.
Oh, or also with our persuasion, I beat you by 1.
Yeah, that's true. That's how you managed to convince me to do that, because that's a heck of a domino trail to follow. Okay. Yeah. I didn't use any of my traits, so I think I'm done.
Okay. See here, Edwin's beliefs. My philosophies are just, so I should demonstrate them without equivocation. I don't feel like I completed this, but I think I pushed towards it. I think this is fate.
Yeah.
I feel like there was like this one
Discuss that
point
stuff.
with the elf where I could have just sat down and agreed with him that like what he did was right because like he was the ruler and like Edwin's belief is that because he is from noble blood, he can do basically whatever he wants. And I didn't go that direction, so I don't think it's worth the persona. I didn't think of that until after I had already had that conversation, though. So next belief, war is most destructive to the peasants. So if there must be war, I will gather allies to end it as soon as possible. I think I've done that. The persona.
I think
Yep.
you muted.
Zen, are you?
Yeah, perhaps you haven't gathered allies to fight the war, but you've definitely gathered. I mean, you gathered like the merchant to sell you the
Right.
stuff. Yeah, so I think you can pull persona out of that.
Yeah. Like it would be cool
You
to
made
get
friends
armies
with
him,
all
but
of the villagers.
we just haven't. I don't think there's time to roll for that. Okay. Next belief. The only evil is the evil of man. The elf is ruled by his nature as any beast. I think Edwin definitely still has this belief based on how the elf acted, but I don't think it's personal. Can I get a fate point for that?
Point to something where you delve the nature of the elf, and I will give you fate for that. Because you did have some conversations with him, but
Yeah, I think they were mostly him talking to you for the most part.
I think like the whole like result of the trying to impress him by reading the letter, and we determined
Right.
that the elf was like, well, that's how things were back then, and like how Edwin was like, like you can't let the grief define you; you have to fight it. And the elf was like resigned to following his grief, and
yeah, and you did talk to him enough to find out that he's got some interesting philosophies in how he views the world.
right. And I think that his philosophy is like actually surprisingly lined up with Edwin's pretty well. But I don't think that Edwin like disbelief wasn't really challenged in any way. I think he just pushed at it, and like his biases were confirmed, and so he accepted them. So I think that's only fate worthy.
Yeah, that's definitely only fate.
Okay. Instincts. I don't think my instincts got me in any trouble, because I was never in any trouble.
I would say that your know-it-all might have provoked something.
I was thinking so, because like I kept trying to like understand all the elves' languages and read his stories, and that caused trouble.
The trying to impress him thing, like you felt like you could understand what was going on there, and you totally misread the situation.
Right. Okay, so I'll take a fate for that, right?
Did that actually go into an interesting new direction, or is that like next time we see him, it might occur?
That spun him in a bit of a different way. He would have done other things.
Yeah.
Like it was going to be like not a very long scene to begin with, I guess. But we definitely saw a different side of the elf. Like if Edwin had succeeded there.
If Edwin had succeeded there, you would have learned a hell of a lot more.
Right.
So yeah, it did.
Definitely
Put
changed
the
things.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And maybe aloof because Edwin didn't participate in the war himself, but I don't know about that.
I think Edwin participated in his own way. Like
Okay.
Edwin doesn't strike me as a violent individual.
No.
He's starting to strike me as a bit of an opportunist.
Yeah. Conspicuously uninvolved and uninterested, typically through distaste. That actually is quite descriptive of your attitude towards the war, but I don't know if it got you in trouble yet.
No. But like it would have been very different if Edwin had like tried to direct the martial aspects of the battle or participate in any of the fights.
Yeah, but it wasn't really.
It wasn't touched upon.
Yeah,
Right.
if you bring that up, then
Mhm.
then we can say yes. But
I
like
mean,
that's
So
the thing
far-
about like getting traits to give you Artha. You need to
It's not just
express it.
It's that
It has to be expressed that this is why I'm doing this. Like
Yeah.
okay.
the what's interesting is that it probably helped you because you have many of the villagers are, I wouldn't say loyal, but friendly towards
Oh yeah.
the path askew now.
Like I'll explain why Edwin is doing this
So when
later.
we win,
I guess I can
then,
explain it now, but Sith has expressed that he prefers to be surprised, so I won't explain that at this point.
okay. If that is all, there was one other thing. Someone mentioned Mold Breaker. Are there any things like that or similar that are at the end of a single session that we want to vote about or talk about?
I'd like to toss humor into the mix for Matrim because I think he might deserve that award.
It was pretty
Because
funny.
for most of the things Matrim was doing to Ernest were pretty funny.
Yeah. For me, it was mostly the looting stuff. Yeah. I agree.
I'll take a fate.
Yeah.
Like accepting a quarter is like, okay.
Yeah.
Not gonna throw that out.
Let's see what else. What other awards can be had here?
This is only like end of session rewards, all right.
It's the end of session stuff. Yeah, it's not going to be trait votes or any of the. Like, I think Ernest still has.
So there's like right skill, right time, embodiment, or mold breaker. I was thinking Ernest was leaning towards mold breaker for a bit, but it wasn't quite hashed out enough.
Yeah.
But he's like on the cusp of it.
Yeah, there wasn't quite there was a 45-degree turn, not quite the 90. You know.
So I'm actually curious. How would it have looked like if what would Ernest have? What would you guys have wanted to see from Ernest to get Mold Breaker in that case?
If he had broken down and if it wasn't just a silent assent, if it was something that he started agreeing to something that was outside of his character to agree to, like actively. I think that would.
Yeah, like
that makes sense.
Just
absolutely
straight up saying like
stoic trait.
Like if something has to happen, but you don't want to be involved in it. That doesn't seem like it's ever going to be mold breaker worthy.
Right.
Like my
true.
concern is that, like, what happens to Ernest's belief if he actually goes against Edwin's commands? Does he lose that trait?
I lose the trait and the belief slot.
If he goes against the ideology of his loyalty belief, he then loses that.
I lose both the trait, I assume, immediately.
Yeah.
And that belief just goes away. So if I no longer believe that I'm a weapon to be used and therefore need to follow Lord Edwin's orders and that those actions are not my own but instead his,
I'd hesitate on immediately. I'd say at the end of the session.
It's possible.
You lose that simply because you don't change beliefs during a session.
Yeah.
So
Okay, yeah, that
Like,
makes sense.
it's got to
my
follow that
question
same rule.
is, like, how much closer can you get to mode breaker without losing that?
In that vein, not very.
If the mold breaker was about this belief, which in this case it was because it was Edwin's house,
Right.
that I was like towing the line basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, I have it open. I can read it one more time if you guys want to hear the wording for Mold Breaker.
Sure.
Sure.
If a player comes to a point in the story where his beliefs, instincts, and traits conflict with the decision he must make, that is, a direction in which he must go, and he plays out the inner turmoil, the conflict within his own guts, in a believable and engaging manner, then he earns a persona point. Other players, as well as the GM, may nominate each other for this award. A majority vote at the table awards the point. To earn the reward, the player must really push his character.
Yeah.
So, like, if you have some sort of inner turmoil where, like, you break down why all of a sudden you're going against the loyalty trait, yeah, you're going to lose the loyalty, but maybe you want that persona for it versus just, like, no longer following it.
Yeah. So basically, the way I look at Mold Breaker is I've got this belief that isn't going to happen. I am in a position where I have to, where this belief is no longer tenable. I have to go against it. And this is how I get my persona, not for completing it, but for turning around and going the other way.
Yeah. Cool.
So you would have to change in such a way that we would not just vote the trait right back on you.
Yeah, so in some way I am no longer. I need to
I'd say
change in
he
a way
could
that I'm no longer loyal to Edwin. And that's
Yeah.
obvious.
I'd say he could still earn the trait back. That is a thing.
But
Yeah,
by being loyal to
It's
something
not just
else.
about losing loyal and similar, it's about regaining it, so.
Yeah. And I mean that could be an interesting thing to do. Like you lose the loyalty trait and therefore lose the respect of Edwin, and then you work to get it back. You know, that would actually be an interesting thing to see.
Yeah, well, I have some story ideas for Ernest.
Okay.
They're slowly cooking. The nightmares and, well, dreams and things are one of them. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we're finally getting to a point with the rules of the game that we can focus less on, oh shit, how does this work,
Yeah.
and more, oh shit, how does my character work?
Right.
Exactly. That's the
You know.
best.
So we can probably delve a little bit more into the role play side of things rather than the mechanical.
Well, the best thing is that it's even better because, and this is what everyone says about Burning Wheel, playing it interesting and min-maxing in Burning Wheel are the same thing, which is the best part.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not like in D&D or
I mean, you can
many
still like
role-playing games
you
where
can
they are
still
either
go
separate
by the
or
rules
either or.
and like pervert the intent of the rules. So like not all min maxing is good, but certain kinds of min maxing are good.
Well, I like Edwin is in traditional role-playing, like D&D style role-playing games, Edwin is min-maxed. He is the fighter. He is really good at killing things, which is all you do in traditional D&D. Oh, he can't do anything academic or money or social or yeah, and that's
Really?
actually more common than fighting.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny you just called yourself Edwin since you've been calling everyone.
I saw that too.
You
I didn't
keep
even
on
notice that.
confusing our names, like, but tonight has been especially bad.
My name,
I
my
think,
character's name is Ernest Buck,
I think
and Golden's
you've, like,
character's name
I think you've got
is,
our names right like one time tonight.
Edwin Waleson, and I am way more tired than I thought I was. Apparently,
Failed your fourth
Okay.
test.
apparently, yes.
Yeah, apparently Spencer only has 2 die in Fort. And
Well, it's an ob 3. I probably only have like 4 die, and that's someone. 4 is average.
Rough week.
But yeah.
All right. Oh, that was
so
fun.
next time, fight.
Next time, yep.
And some practice.
And a shitload of practice.
Yeah, and
Or
6 months of
flashbacks.
practice.
Yeah.
So for no reason ever, Ernest will do nothing but train his maces for the next 6 months.
Yeah,
That makes sense because he is literally fighting, but still. I'm kidding. I don't know if I will train maces or not because I just got my maces to 6.
So we get
since
6
since
months of downtime.
yes, well, since the 6 months isn't necessarily quote unquote downtime, do we want to place a limiter on?
Let's talk about it in like
Practice.
on Skype. Let's talk about
Okay.
it on Skype.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
feel like I'm mostly
So we'll
gonna be doing
figure that out.
social stuff. So
Yeah, I have some ideas for what I want to practice that would be applicable in most of my stuff would also be applicable during the last 6 months, but we'll see.
Okay.
all right. Well, let's
Is there
take
anything
off
else?
then.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think
We'll
so.
see you
Yeah, we've
guys
got
next week.
Got more
My
stuff.
Burning Wheel book, and I already said this, but I'm saying this again to you audience. My Burning Wheel book arrives early next week. Finally, it took a week to get through customs from the U.S. to Canada, so I'll actually be able to know the rules. Because I don't, not really.
I'm looking forward to everyone reading the book.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're gonna go. I'm also tired, so hope to see you guys next time.
Goodbye,
Goodbye.
and tune in
See you next week,
to
folks.
see.
See ya.
We don't have a name for this week, though. What was the name for this session? The island.
Yeah,
of
apparently I'm tired
war,
too.
Like whatever. The island of whatever. All right. Tune in next
Technically,
time.
this is called The Empire Strikes Back, with the Empire being the path askew.
Dun,
Lost their
dun,
hand.
dun,
I don't know. We'll see next week. Maybe Ernest will lose his hand.
dun.